You know, there's this huge myth in the business world. This idea that you have to choose. Be safe, be good, or be fast. Pick two. But what if that's just completely wrong? Today we're going to show you how these three forces, safety, quality, and productivity, aren't a choice at all. They're a single, powerful trifecta for success. Let's get into it.
So here it is, the classic dilemma, right? Do we slow down to follow a safety rule, or do we push forward to hit that deadline? I mean, this question comes up constantly, on factory floors, in kitchens, even in offices. And the common thinking is that, yeah, they're opposites. You have to sacrifice one to get the other. But what if that common thinking has been holding us back?
For the longest time, the old view was king. Safety was seen as this annoying, costly thing you had to do. It was red tape that just got in the way of the real work. But the new reality, and this is backed by some serious data, is a total game changer. It flips the script entirely. Safety isn't a cost. It's one of the smartest investments a business can make, one that actually powers everything else you do.
And that brings us right to the main event, the three pillars of success. We're about to break down how you can stop seeing these as things you have to juggle and start seeing them for what they are, the integrated foundation for absolutely top-tier performance.
So here they are. Safety, quality, productivity. The key thing to get is that they aren't just kind of related, they are, and this is a great phrase, inextricably linked. You can't separate them. Think of it like a three-legged stool. If you shorten or weaken any one of those legs, the whole thing just falls over. It's that simple.
Let's start with that first leg, the foundation, safety. Think about it. When people aren't worried about getting hurt, they're mentally free to just focus, to concentrate on doing a great job. This isn't just about avoiding an accident report. It's about building an environment of trust. Morale goes way up, and you avoid the huge, costly disruptions that a single bad incident can cause.
All right, on to the second pillar, quality. A culture of quality is really just a promise to do it right the first time. And what does that mean in the real world? Well, it means fewer mistakes, happier customers, and, this is the big one, fewer expensive reworks. When you're not constantly going back to fix errors, you save an incredible amount of time and money, which feeds directly into your productivity.
And here's how we bring it all home with productivity. A truly productive team, one with good systems and the right tools, doesn't feel that pressure to cut corners. Their process is so smooth that they have the time to follow the safety rules and to hit those high-quality standards. See, rushed work is almost always sloppy and unsafe work. True productivity is the antidote to that.
And this quote just nails it. The whole problem is this perception of interference, that one is getting in the way of the other. The reality is they're supposed to operate in concert, like musicians in an orchestra. When they're all playing together, in harmony, the result is so much more powerful than any one of them playing alone. Okay, let's pull this out of the clouds and get really concrete. What does this look like day to day? Well, let's talk about something we've all seen. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. It's a perfect real-world example of that first pillar, safety in action.
Now, the key with PPE is that it's smart. It's not just a blanket rule. It's a targeted, logical response to a very specific risk. You don't wear a hard hat because of a chemical splash, right? You wear it because there's a risk of falling objects. It's all about intelligently taking a specific hazard off the table so an employee can get on with their job without having to worry.
So here's the mindset shift we have to make. That hard hat, those safety glasses, they're not barriers. They are not slowing things down. They are enablers. They give a worker the confidence and the security to perform a difficult job with their full attention, which of course leads to much higher quality work.
Okay, so if PPE is a tool, how do we build a whole system around this thinking? This is where a really cool methodology called 5S comes into play. It is a fantastic way to weave all three pillars, safety, quality, and productivity, right into the DNA of your workplace. Let's see how it works.
At its heart, 5S is basically organized common sense. It's a system for setting up any workspace. Could be an assembly line, could be your desk, so that everything has a specific place and everything is in its place. This one simple idea has massive effects on how efficiently, how effectively, and, you guessed it, how safely work gets done.
And the process is broken down into 5 pretty simple steps. First, you sort. Get rid of all the junk you don't actually need. Second, set in order. Everything that's left gets a logical, easy-to-reach home. Third, shine. Clean everything up and keep the equipment in good shape. But the last two, this is where the magic really happens. You standardize the process so it's easy to repeat, and you sustain it until it's just
the way you do things. It becomes part of the culture. And the results, they really do speak for themselves. When you implement 5S, you get a much smoother workflow because people aren't wasting hours just looking for a tool. That obviously reduces wasted time and materials. And critically, a clean, organized space is a safe space. You have fewer things to trip over, fewer mistakes happen, and just generally fewer accidents. It boosts all three pillars at once.
So as we start to wrap this up, it's really time for all of us to rethink our own workplaces. We have to make that mental shift from seeing things like safety training and quality checks as cost centers. They're not. They are genuine value drivers.
And hey, if you need a hard number to make it real, here you go. Rushing a job to get it done faster might feel like a win for a second. But when that unhappy customer calls back demanding you fix it, that rework can cost you up to 3 times what it costs to do it in the first place. Suddenly, taking a little extra time to get it right seems like a bargain, doesn't it?
So what's the big takeaway here? Let's boil it down. First, safety, quality, and productivity are on the same team. They're allies, not enemies. Second, tools like PPE and systems like 5S, they're not roadblocks, they're on-ramps to better work. And finally, every bit of time and money you invest in this trifecta, it isn't a cost, it's an investment that will pay you back big time.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. I want you to look at your own organization, your own team. Is it stuck in a loop of just reacting to problems, fixing things after they break, responding after an injury? Or is it proactively, intentionally, building a culture of true excellence where safety, quality, and productivity all thrive together? Because that choice, that makes all the difference in the world.